Welcome to the Fashion Translator. I'm Claire, your host. Together we explore how AI and innovation are reshaping the fashion industry through creativity, technology, and global partnership. For today's episode, I'm welcoming Michael Drescher, founder of Vibrant Body. Michael, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself and the company.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Michael Drescher, founder of Vibrant Body Company. I'm a bit of the unlikely messenger, a gentleman with much more of an entertainment and media background, delving into the intimate apparel, or as we call it, the first layer. And a lot of my motivation and the motivation of the company is really built around making sure, particularly here in the United States, that women can be wearing something that can work with them and not against them. By what I mean is, as many of you know, in Europe, they've banned over 2,400 chemicals you cannot have touch the skin. And in the US, we've banned less than 40 of those. The goods here are loaded with things like formaldehyde and PFAS, and these are on the two most porous sensitive areas. We don't consider ourselves like a Medi bra or anything else. So we're very incredibly comfortable. We have all of this certifications. In the US, we're a benefits corporation, a B Corp. We have enjoyed the highest European certifications of the OEKO 100s. We're always comfortable and always clean.
Tell us a bit more about what inspired you to create this magic bra.
Well, that's just it. And thank you. Yeah, our bra is our hero product. You know, we've got a saying, and it's true. In the world today, the only thing we should hate is our bras, okay? Because I know that a lot of women have very strong feelings about dislike. And so we have a saying that matches that, says, your bra hates you too. And the reason it is because for all the reasons that I mentioned. And frankly, we're not saying we're curing anything, but, I've had a lot of breast cancer in my life, and that's where this all emanated from. And our bodies, right? That we're electrical beings. Our heart, our brain, lymphatic systems are all driven electrically. God forbid you're bedbound at the hospital. That's why they turn you over. They keep turning you to get that electrical body stimulated. If you have your arm leg in a cast, it atrophies within days and you need physical therapy. And frankly, Coco Chanel freed women 90 years ago from the corset and the wires and these intrusive mechanisms, right? But then Hollywood brought it back here in America in the 40s with what they called the sweater girls. And that was all dudes, by the way, guys like me in the entertainment business that projected a woman's breast into a point. And, that really big brands like Victoria's Secret picked up on that and down a band, up a cup, so that culturally here in America, the prominence of a woman's projection of her breast. Well, if you look at those bras, they're mainly wired bras and they're a U shape.
Yeah.
But what they wanted to do is pretend that a woman's breast was, almost ornamental on her chest plate, when in fact, medically speaking, that breast tissue comes all the way around the side of the torso. So all that wire is really doing is pressing and taking the side and projecting it forward. In the meantime, putting tremendous pressure on the lymphatic system and the system that's there to help cleanse. And then around the nipple area, like foam cup bras in America, foam in America is polyurethane. It's gas. And so now you have, not just for a minute, hours, decades of this nipple, this giver of life to feed a child, is basically with heat and moisture absorbing all of this PFAS and formaldehyde. And the very system there to cleanse it is being compressed and probably debilitated over the years. And so when you match that up, so then we went to Europe. Heidi Lehmann is a world-renowned designer. I started in New York with Rosalind Hart, who's since passed, but the grande dame of intimate apparel in New York. And finally, she said to me, honey, I make brassieres. You need a real technical. And Heidi, of course, was at Triumph in Europe. Yeah. And she has all kinds of degrees. So it took quite a few years. And we worked with Metric in Skov outside of Stuttgart. And we spent 5 years developing this cup. And that cup actually gives women back the side of their breasts, yet giving them the lift and support that they want. And it's so well that here in America, Dr. Rashida Karmali, Dr. Rashida is one of the top research. She's in molecular biology, a PhD. So that's that electrical body I was talking about. And Dr. Rashida wrote our utility patent.
Wow. We can tell there's a lot of research and a lot of work that went behind the creation of this bra.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, we wanted to patent it because it's so novel. And to get a utility patent, you have to prove that you're completely unique. And we did that with Dr. Rashida. She's also a lawyer and an MBA. So we have actually the U.S. Patent Office and the European patent offices all allowed, and we defended. Our title of this patent is Breast Saver. And we have that in a utility patent, not just a design patent.
Tell us a bit more about how you communicate all of this knowledge and all of this information to the consumer and bring awareness to these topics.
Well, thank you. Education is key. I think when you follow, and again, here in the US, we've gone from clean water back 30 years ago or so when we introduced your French water, Evian and Perrier. And now, of course, there's countless waters. And then we went to clean food, which now, as we know it here, is Whole Foods and Sprouts. And then, of course, clean beauty, the adoption of clean beauty here, going from, I think Sephora brought on Drunk Elephant almost 10 years ago. And now they represent online about 80 of those clean beauty brands.
Yeah.
So it's almost counterintuitive to skip these two most porous areas of the feminine form. Greg Renfro, the founder, she said, I don't sell anything, I just educate. And I think that's where we try to educate, because we have a saying, once she knows, she can't unknow it.
That's very true. Yeah. And are you also bringing this educational aspect? Okay, of course, with like this first layer and the medical side of it, but I'm guessing that also includes all this, the knowledge about the toxin, right? Like you said, the water, all of this. So both of these sides come together to have a more holistic approach when it comes to first layers.
Yes, that's just it. We say if it's on you, it's in you. And for some reason, like I say, it's almost counterintuitive. The clean movement has skipped these two most porous areas. And again, here in the United States, a third of women's undies, panties have warning labels because they're treated with Scotchgard, basically, the chemicals of Scotchgard, which is a stain resistant. But here it is on the most porous area of the feminine form, prone to heat. And of course, that's disallowed in every other civilized country. And we lead the world in vaginal cancer. So yes, it's an education. We've been to Washington, D.C. trying to get legislation amended or changed because it's really criminal in many ways what's allowed here.
So there's a political involvement as well.
Well, we try. I don't know if you noticed, but the Paris Olympics, Lululemon was protested there by an outfit in New York that's kind of the watchdog called Remake. And their protest they had big banners saying Lululemon dressing its athletes in oil. And in the U.S., what we're up against here is, I'm sure you know, a lot of these fabrics, to get them inexpensive, are really, petro waste products in many cases. And, they can feel fine. And then we have, there's things like GOTS cotton. GOTS cotton's great, but it doesn't test the final product. It's just, you can prove that the cotton is organic. But really, most of the harm comes in, as you know, is in the dyes and the finishes. That's why with OEKO, they test the final product. And so that's where we feel good about what we're doing. And, we've been recognized. Fast Company magazine named us last year one of the top 10 most innovative companies, along with Hoka, a few others. So we're in good company there. I did a TED Talk 3.5 years ago that nobody cared about. And all of a sudden, last November, it got picked up by a few of the breast cancer groups. And now we're up over 600,000 views.
Wow. That's impressive.
It's and a lot of shares, right? So I think when women hear this, it makes sense. We're like the green juice of intimates, right? It's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can see. So now your message is actually reaching more and more women. What would you say is the channel or the platform that has the most traction for you when it comes to get your clients' feedback and connect with the community?
Well, I have to say that, I'm a little cautious with Meta. You can spend a lot of money and break even, and that's fine. So we kind of go in and out of that. What we find a lot of pop-ups for a because high touch for us is amazing. She touches it. When we have her size, no matter if we do it in New York or Chicago or Los Angeles, Venice Beach, we just did a year-long pop-up. And if we have her size, 86% buy, and they buy 1.6, and then they can't wait to tell their adjacent buyers, their mother, sister, daughter. Most women don't know our story, and they don't know what they're putting on their bodies and how it's reacting with their bodies.
Yeah, I can see. Again, you can apply that. Once you learn it, you cannot unlearn it. That also applies here.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We have a very high rebuy rate. Women really like, and then they look at the rest of our line. We're not trying to be everything to everybody. We're very simplistic. We have an everywhere bra. We have different sizes. Women love it. It's so comfortable. Everything's where they want it to be. And then we have some tops and bottoms, and we have a sports series. So we have the leggings and the bike shorts and the sports bra. Because particularly when you're working out, doing hot yoga, for God's sakes, all of that is off-gassing whatever's in whatever you're wearing. It's coming right into you. We are completely 100% non-harmful in that experience. And I can't say that for many others.
Wow. Talking about innovation, what are some innovation that you're looking forward or that you're excited to see evolve and expand, whether it's like for the material or the construction, any aspect?
Yeah, there's so many tests going on now with different fabrics. There's a gentleman that we're working with that's doing fabrics out of basically the essence is a kind of a seashell. And it's a
Mm.
very cool touch fabric and extremely, healthy, if you will. They say in the future, when you buy into the concept of this off gassing and transdermal absorption, right? It's like why there's a nicotine patch or why there's a birth control patch. I mean, if it's on you, it's in you. Because when we do, heat and moisture will continue to accelerate that off gassing and transdermal absorption. How about if
Yeah.
our fabric are embedded with basically nutrients, right? So when we're transdermal absorbing, we're absorbing nutrients, and that's on the radar.
It's very interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. Now we spoke about in terms of innovation, in terms of the material, but if you think about the company in general, the brand, what are certain things you want to grow into or expand?
Well, again, it's the education. How can we lever that? Because as we said, once she knows, she can't unknow. And it's so true because it doesn't take women long. It's just no one's ever told them this, right? So when they get it, they're like, oh my God, of course, right? And so we're completely wire free. We give them back their breast, the side of their breast. So they're really happy with it. So what we've done is beginning next month, we've been pretty boutique-y, if you will. By Christmas, we'll be on Amazon, Walmart, Target, and Macy's as far as online on their digital marketplaces with appropriate promotion. And then we're starting a little bit of a retail arm to reach out through Body Magazine. We're going to be, at least with our sports series and our tops and bottoms, reaching out to kind of more of the boutiquers for a wholesale aspect. So, that's exciting because we really haven't gone into those channels before.
Yeah, that's going to be a stepping stone to bring the message to even more ears and more eyes.
Yes, that's what we're about. We have a couple of campaigns that will get women's attention. So today's world, you have a very brief period of time. And particularly when it comes to bras, all the noise gets very same,
Yeah.
kind of self.
Yes, digital marketing is crucial these days, and how to leverage the resources we have and AI to really get the message in front of not only more people, but the right people.
Exactly. There's a group out of Canada, actually, that we believe is really on the frontier of the whole AI experience. So we're migrating over to them. We're just optimizing our website with them right now.
Every aspect from their website and then how to reach the client, the campaigns, all of this can be put together and optimized today and in the future also. The innovation there are also not going to stop anytime soon, that's for sure.
No, I see it as becoming much more efficient,
It is.
I'm excited about it. For a guy with gray hair, I'm excited. I pride myself on kind of staying with what's going on. And wow, I can't wait to see. It's just
Of course.
incredible.
Yeah, well, this gets automated and sorted. It frees your time to focus more on the aspect of vibrant body that you want to grow and focus on. And it allows you to put your energy and your focus on the place that you're actually excited about.
Absolutely.
So, Michael, we'll be keeping an eye and ear on Vibrant Body. There's a lot of exciting things coming. Michael, thank you so much for taking time to speak with me today. It was lovely.
Thank you so much.